Hey there! Before we get started, I wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who was a part of the Sonic Expo 2023 in Dallas, Texas. It was an honor to be a special guest at such an amazing event full of passionate Sonic fans, artists, cosplayers, content creators, musicians like Victor McKnight and Johnny from Crush 40, and of course, the voice actors. I had an absolute blast, a 3D blast if you will, and I cannot wait for the next one. Much love to Phoenix, Jovial Knights, and all the Chaos creators for making history happen. That being said, let's do it to it. Hey everybody, I'm G. Welcome to the next level once again here at Sonic Expo 2023, and I am here with the voice of one of the greatest anti-heroes of all time, the one and only Edgy the Hedgy, Shadow the Hedgehog, Mr. Kirk Thornton. Thank you so much.
Hey G, how you doing?
Agreeing to talk with me today.
Oh no, it's so good to be here. You know, I love it.
Absolutely. So you're here at Sonic Expo.
Yeah.
First year's actually really technically the first year as a full-on convention, but since back in 2018. Seeing them go from such a small little event to a big convention like now and having wonderful guests like you here. So far in this entire weekend, what has been some of your favorite experiences that you've had here at the Sonic Expo so far?
Well, you know, it's just the fans. It's the fans. They come up and, you know, when we're in the studio, we don't have any idea what kind of effect we have, or even when it gets aired. But, you know, some fans, they come up and they're like weak in the knees. And it's so touching to meet them and interact with them and be able to talk with them and get them to relax and realize that, you know, we're just normal guys, and that you know, and spend some time with them. You know, ask them about who they are and get to know them. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Sonic community, the Sonic fandom is pretty much passionate like any other fandom. In all the times that I've been through multiple different conventions, they're just so mighty and so loyal and so lovable that it's just wonderful. It's been this way this whole weekend.
Yeah.
So, and awesome because you're a part of it. You're one of the reasons why. So obviously, thank you for that. So let's talk about Shadow. Let's talk about good old Shadow himself. So what went through your mind? I know during the panel yesterday, I talked about how really starting to get into the voice acting gig and everything that you do for the various different other characters that you play. When you got the role of Shadow, what were kind of the emotions that went through your mind, and what helped you determine this is the kind of voice I want to have for this character?
Emotions were, you know, fear that I'd not do it justice. And what I went through was just kind of speaking with the director, asking what they were looking for, what they wanted to flesh out in the character. And they said they wanted that kind of a cool, tough guy. And so I kind of riffed off of Clint Eastwood a little bit.
I can see that.
I thought Clint Eastwood.
You know, I never thought of that, but now that you've mentioned it, I can see it.
So I just played a little with that and just did variations of that.
Nice. What's your favorite Clint Eastwood movie?
Gotta be The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. For me, I think it's probably either Dirty Harry or even Gran Torino.
Oh, really? Oh, that was a wonderful movie.
I love Gran
he's done, you know, when I was a young actor, I thought, this guy, you know, he just plays one level. He never, you know, does anything. And then as I watched him more and more, I really appreciated, you know, what he does.
Awesome, awesome. So as far as the character for Shadow goes and how you played him, how do you feel now knowing that he's become, because he was always kind of the character that was more off to the side when he originally came through in Sonic Adventure 2 and everything else, and now he's become such a prominent character in the franchise and even now appearing in the movies very soon. Yeah. It's like, how do you feel that you were one of the first people to really help this new iconic character become so iconic?
I hadn't even thought about it. You know, I just, you know, you come in and you play your role, and it hasn't been really until, you know, the fans have started responding that I realized, oh my God, he is getting bigger. He is getting more fleshed out, and his storyline is known by everybody. So yeah, I mean, it's thrilling to get something that, you know, I didn't know that much about the character when I first was cast, and didn't realize just what kind of an impact he had, and he just keeps coming out. And I don't think that has anything to do with me. It may have something to do with the Japanese voice actor, or whatever. But and I love the fact that he's going to be in the live action. I think that's great.
I don't know, I remember when I went to the movies to see the early screening of Sonic 2, and I could feel it like in the post-credit scene. I could feel like he's coming, and he opened his eyes like, oh my goodness, it's time. And now I was asking because it's so crazy, because now we're seeing Shadow the Hedgehog merchandise everywhere. Like we're seeing plushes, we're seeing figures, we're seeing Venoms, we're seeing these big Mochi plushes, we're seeing controller attachments now.
Yeah.
He's now becoming just as popular as Sonic, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It amazes me. And
But you were one of the first people to start that, so.
that's so cool.
What's one of your favorite, in your time of voicing, actually really, let's go with any role that you've played.
Okay.
What's some of your favorite stories behind your acting? Like, do you have any cool like stories to tell when playing any of the characters? Like, what's one of your favorite stories to tell?
One of my favorite stories to tell is it's how I got the role of Saïx.
Okay.
Okay, so I was sitting at home, the phone rings, and a company that I had never ever heard from before, only dreamed of, Disney Character Voices called it. This is Disney Character Voices. We'd like to bring you in to play on Kingdom Hearts, play the role of Saïx. And I went, Disney Character Voices? And I said, okay. I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. And so they scheduled me, and they called back and they said, oh, we need to change your time. And I go, oh, no problem. It's Disney Character Voices. And
make this work. You do whatever you need to do.
And they called back a third time, and they said, we need to change. I said, by the way, how did I get this job? And the person on the other end of the phone said, I don't know. And so I go, okay. So I go in to do the session. I said, but how did I get this job? And the director goes, I don't know. And they asked, and they turned around and asked, and he came back and he said, in Japan, the actor who played Gene in Samurai Champloo played Saïx in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So we figured since you played Gene in Samurai Champloo, you could do Saïx in Kingdom Hearts as well. So I got Saïx from doing Gene in one of my favorite roles in Samurai Champloo.
Champloo, one of my favorite animes.
Yeah.
Awesome, wonderful. Favorite question I love to ask guests and voice actors.
It's got to stump me then. If it's a favorite question, it's gonna embarrass me probably.
And no embarrassment, only as long as you tell it. But transporting you back to your childhood. It's Saturday morning. What are you watching? What are you eating? What's on your TV? What's on your plate? What's in your bowl?
I was watching Bugs Bunny.
Yes. Classic Looney Tunes.
Oh God, what else was I watching? Yeah, mostly classic Looney Tunes. And I might have been eating, if it was morning, I might have been eating Captain Crunch. And if it was later in the day, I was eating, and this will gross everybody out. This will gross everybody because nobody eats them anymore. I was eating saltines with sardines on them.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, and it doesn't have to be breakfast. It's just gonna be something to eat, right?
Yep.
All right, well, I believe that's all really I have for today. So, Kirk, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming and chatting with me. Thank you so much for appearing on the channel. Let everybody know where they can find you on the internet.
At VO Kirk on Twitter and Instagram, Kirk Thornton VO.
All right, awesome. And of course, you can find me at G to the Next Level pretty much anywhere on the internet. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all that fun stuff. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And on behalf of Kirk Thornton, the voice of Edgy, the Hedgy, Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm G, and we'll see you on the next level.
See you later.